Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Windy here from All StarCraft. I'm here at the local Battles LAN Center in Fort Lee, New Jersey, with the Power Overwhelming 4 LAN tournament. And joining me today, we have Eric Dread from Rutgers CSL team. How you doing, Eric?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. Thanks a lot. So I think we've got a pretty good game here to start off the day. It's going to be between our Protoss player here, Blood, and across the map, Shakur's Plateau, we have his opponent. It's going to be Cookies. Cookies actually being one of my teammates from Rutgers, so I know a little bit about his playstyle. I actually played a few customs with him last night, and it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do in Shakur's. I know this is one of his favorite maps in the entire map pool, so...
Yeah, a lot of Terrans do favor this map simply because of its architecture, but I mean, you can look here, very, very easy, natural to defend. And then again, very nice choke points. You can even get tanks up on the high ground if you're going for that 1-1-1 style. So there's a lot of variants, but I mean, you know Cookies personally, so what do you think? Does he favor a more aggressive Terran against Protoss?
You know what? I would label Cookies as being like one of those really dangerous Terrans who he can throw one of those really scary all-ins at you on one base, or he can just go gasless CC. So honestly, he could do either one on this map. I know gasless CC is quite easy to do because you can just secure it at the bottom without even having to float down. Yeah,
you don't have to worry about too much of that Stalker and Zealot running by. You know, using that Zealot has a little bit of tanky damage. But you can see there's no gasman taken here for Cookies, so you'll be probably going to go ahead and be a CC. Nothing too crazy out of him, of course. And Blood, gas going down for him, Gateway. Pylon going down as well. Oops, zooming in there.
That barracks actually just stalled. I think... Did he lose an SCV?
Oh,
no, he managed to save it. I think he just had to pull off for a minute or there.
Yeah. The Pope's going to be, dude, probe harass onto the...
yeah, that's so annoying.
Yes, it was very, very annoying for Terran players. You should always do it for at least a little bit. You're going to force the Terran to either A, lose an SCV, or B, pull another SCV to repair, and that's
you may stall that production for a few seconds, which could add up.
Yep, and looks like he's asking for a pause, so you know, Cookies probably going to have just his key settings
As we were saying before this started, you know, Cookies has a ton of these really, really awkward, well, for me anyway, settings. He uses a spacebar a lot. So, I don't know, could have been something with that.
Some players like that. You can see, I think Gosu DDE is one person that comes to mind. He doesn't hotkey any of his buildings. So, it's kind of interesting that he does that. Just a preference out of some players.
Yeah.
So
everyone finds their own style, and you know, as long as you calculate it and figure out, you know, if it's a well-thought-out method of clicking, then, you know, if it's good for you, then good.
It's whatever you're comfortable with, honestly. And now, we've seen a lot of Protoss favor in the current metagame go for a 2-gas opening against Terran to kind of deal with the versatility that Terran's throwing out because, well, you can see Cookies here getting his command center down, has no gas yet, but here's the big turning point for the Terran player. Does he go for double racks or does he go for double gas? So we're going to see one additional racks throw down. Gonna see, and there's even a variance where you get 2 gas after adding only on 1 rack. So there's a lot of variance there, and a good counter to it has been that double gas opening out of Protoss with 3 gates or even a single gate and a robo, and then that's allowed for a lot of transitions as well as a very quick nexus. Stalker's gonna pop out, chase away that SCV, and he will get him, of course, a small victory there for Blood.
Now, did he skip his first element? I don't actually...
He did get it out. Okay. I know it's running around somewhere.
I think it's outside of the natural.
Yeah, he's hanging out right here.
Sometimes you'll see the Protoss just start that up, and then right before it finishes, they'll just cancel it because they've determined with their scout or whatever that they actually don't need it. And in this case, I feel like Blood probably did not need that Zealot because he's not going to be able to do much with it for a while.
Yeah, and most Protosses aren't going to take their Nexus, but you can see now that he's going to try and use that Zealot to take a little bit of damage to get by, but...
The bunker's already done.
That's a good bunker positioning. Of course, you have that other bunker there from Cookies. That's going to, you know, help choke out that Zealot into that one section. 5 Marines out on the field for him. Second barracks finishing up. Third one going to complete as well.
Yeah, this is totally standard here.
Yeah, double gas, of course. So now the big question is, does he get combat shield or does he get stim? That's going to be kind of indicative of his style. If he gets stim, obviously going to see a two-base timing with that.
Could even get 1-1 or something.
Yeah, there's been a lot of the current metagame with Terran has been favoring that double gas right after CC and then going really quick drops before Protoss is ever ready for it because they're not going to have a forge up anytime soon. And then again, even, I mean, some Protoss have been getting that forge relatively early. Double forge after 3-gate expand. Blood going to get a robotics facility down as well.
3-gate robo. This is just the absolute bread and butter build right now for Protoss after a 1-gate expand.
It's incredibly safe. And when you're at a LAN tournament like this, you know, you get to see your player, who you're playing against, and whether you're physically intimidated by him or not is kind of irrelevant because you've never played against his style.
Now, this is a best of 3, and there actually is a loser bracket in this tournament because
they did announce that.
Of signups.
Yeah, there's only 12 players in the tournament. Siphon and Giant Smurf are some of the more notable signups that we've had. Daoism is here as well, so we do have a few good players here as well as some, you know,
many High Masters players here. Yeah.
So it's going to be a good tournament, but I like the idea they drop the double elimination, more games to cast, and that's what we're here for.
It's really going to give us a chance to see some of these storylines progress too throughout the tournament. You know, these players who can go to the lower bracket and maybe fight through that, or something like that.
Yep, and you can see Cookie's getting out his factory, going to go for that, standard timing on medevacs. Actually, a little bit earlier. He has foregone engineering base for the moment, so he's electing to get out medevacs a little bit sooner than those engineering base, which on a map like Shakura's Plateau, there's a lot of dead space for medevacs to hang out. You can see over here, back here. So pretty much you just send that medevac there, have it chill for a few minutes, do a push, or defend against a push, and you just drop while the Protoss is way out of position and not prepared for it. And that's kind of one of the strengths that Terrans have wanted to exercise on this particular map.
Yeah, I mean, even though that front ramp can be force fielded off with just, I believe, 2 force fields, I mean, it's still, you have that constant threat of running up the front and then maybe multi-pronging or doing a doom drop in the back. It's just so hard to deal with right now. And, well, he does have the observer in there, and he's going to see the factory floating away as well as the reactor starport. So this is just a good indication of some sort of, medevac timing that's going to be incoming.
Yeah, and you see a lot of Korean players actually do this when it comes to mine. They love this very aggressive style. You can see Stim is finishing up there right at the 9-minute mark, beautifully timed. Medevacs will be popping out about 9:30, and Combat Shield will be done in about 2 minutes.
And he'll probably wait for that +1 to finish too, right before pushing. So it's going to be a really, really strong timing push, that's for sure. And the question is, he is going for the Colossus tech. Will those be out in time to deal with? And even if 1 or 2 are out, if they're not with range or if they're not in the right position, Cookies could always pick those ones off. Yeah,
it's very, very easy to pick off Colossus with that range. You can see that factory getting targeted down by a few Stalkers. Very, very good to do that. Some people, of course, call that factory the retard magnet. But in this situation, Blood wants to, ward away any scouting because Cookies, in terms of information, he does not know what's going on. He only saw a single gateway and then the fact that a Nexus had gone
I don't
down.
think he dropped a scan at all this whole game, actually.
Yeah, but wow, that is a pretty formidable force there.
Now, it is going to get scattered. I think the Observer saw it coming, as well as the Stalker. But I don't know. We'll see if he keeps reinforcing. +1 is only halfway done, though, so this timing is not going to be as strong as it could be. I don't know if that +1 was late, or he might just be waiting for, as that's kind of like the insurance policy if this doesn't pan out for him.
You can see him loading up right there. We'll get those medevacs loaded up and attempt to a drop, but Stalkers are in great position. They will pick one medevac off before it ever gets to the land.
Absolutely. A couple units get out, but he needs the Stimmies right away, and there's so many units already waiting here. Really good, defense here by Blood.
But, wow, this Terran unit's doing pretty damn good against those units. However, a lot of Zealots and a single Immortal.
He needs to lift up right now, but I don't think he's going to be a little too late with that. And may get away with there with actually
one medevac away with 5 HP.
Go to the units lost if you could. I just want to see exactly what kind of a trade that was.
Yeah, units lost.
Yeah, not too bad for Terran actually. After all, he did. He only lost for Marines and Marauders there, and he killed. some Stalkers.
He reduced that Stalker count, and the Stalkers are essential to dealing with Marines. Of course, the Immortals are crucial dealing with the Marauders, but the Stalkers just tank the Marine damage so well, especially with this Colossi.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to rebuild those Stalkers either. I don't think he can afford to at this point. He needs to focus on his Colossus. He has still 4 waiting back there, but that's not going to deny more than one medevac.
That's purely defense for a drop at this point in time. But again, you can't overlook that Cookie's kind of overcommitted to that. That was a pretty heavy doom drop right into the line of fire. Didn't really scout it out and committed to it.
Now the second push, he does have +1 now, so this is going to be his follow-up timing. He did a little bit of a push. Now he's doing a second push again, and behind this he's taking a 3rd base. So this is not an all-in by any means, but he is going to see if he can make some damage happen. Actually, smartly, just pulling away there when he saw the Colossus. Yeah,
not sure if the Colossus has range. You have to be very, very careful before engaging that. But Blood has a good number of sentries. Oops.
Again, that's such a small ramp, though. If you just run up there and you miscalculate, you could just take severe damage. It's the Terran.
Yeah, absolutely. Range is still a good 40 seconds out, so it'll be a while before that completes. The second Colossi will make its way on the field, and Blood looks like he's going to retreat back home. Does he have a 3rd CC complete? Yes, it's morphing into an orbital right now. So he's going to feel apt to go ahead and take his 3rd base, and I think that's a safe move. He's put on pressure. He's keep Protoss insecure in his base. You don't want to, as a Protoss, you never ever want to extend beyond your reach. If
Right.
you push out and Terran's able to drop you, if you push out and Terran's able to snipe off your Colossi, if you're out of position, you're gonna fall substantially far behind. Protoss is all about good unit retention.
And Protoss has actually been really smart this whole time. You know, a lot of times when this with this big 2-base aggression comes, you just become so you get tunnel vision in a way, and you don't want to transition out of that, and you wind up building too many gateways. But in fact, he's teching up the charge. He's getting upgrades. He'll be taking a third soon. He hasn't stopped pro production. He's just doing all the good stuff to get this game going into the mid and late game.
Yep, and those 2 medevacs are actually deflected by a single cannon and 5 stalkers. So great defense out of their Blood. Of course, he can use that high ground vision granted by that factory as well as those medevacs to snipe some of those units, which is actually a pretty good idea. You want to, if you can pick and pull at the Protoss player and you have good multitasking as Terran, you could do a lot of damage, but you see one Marauder just, oh man.
I think Blood is actually smelling a little bit of blood himself.
Vikings are out though. There's only 3, but there's only 2 Colossi, and that might be enough.
This is not a really good spot at all for Blood to be pushing. I think he's going to lose too many Colossus here, but I don't know. He's suddenly decided that he wants to commit with this army, but I feel like he doesn't have to because he's already got his charge almost done. He's got his upgrades going. He could easily just take a third right now, and I don't know why he's attacking this sub 100 food army.
Yeah, there wasn't a good engagement at all for the Protoss player. Charge, like you said, going to complete very soon. It was probably 1 chrono boost away, and as well as ground weapons. So had he waited a little bit longer, I mean, +1 armor was done, so that Marine fire is going to be a little less effective. But with 4 Vikings out, a substantial number of medevacs, and a decent BO4, Cookie's looking in great shape.
There was just no reason at all to attack there. I mean, he didn't have an inferior economy. He actually had a very good economy. Never cut probes. So I think he maybe just
a little overzealous, perhaps.
Yeah, it's very easy to make that mistake right now because he has been, like I said, getting his Twilight Council, getting upgrades. So maybe he felt like he wants to trade armies favorably, or maybe catch Benny or Cookies rather, being a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, and you can actually see there's a bit of a warp in here at the third base. Some Zealot's going to work, but Marine's able to clean it up. Not a little too easy. There is another pylon on the high ground. So
big engagement actually down by the natural.
Wow.
Looks like Cookies managed to catch him with no force fields.
And that might be the end of Blood right there. Cookies getting choked up the ramp one more time, but there's just a tremendous, even landing the Vikings. When Terrans land Vikings,
that's what happens.
You're in trouble, man.
And the reason being, those Colossus, they died much earlier in that terrible position by Cookie's natural, and now he just has nothing to defend with. So it's going to be GG. Cookies taking game number 1 here at the local battles land in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Alrighty, gonna get game number 2. It of course will be Blood's map pick, and we'll be right back with game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.